Today, I want to share with you a story that will touch your heart and inspire your soul. It is the story of a young man named Leo who lived in a small, forgotten town. He had a big dream, to become a famous musician, but no one believed in him. His family told him to be realistic. His friends laughed at his songs, yet Leo never gave up. He kept playing music in secret, hoping that one day someone would hear him. This story is not just about music. It's about hope when everything feels dark. It's about courage when fear tries to hold you back. It's about how one small voice, maybe even yours, can grow into something powerful. Leo's journey shows us how to face rejection, fight doubt, and keep moving forward. He went from feeling invisible to standing in the spotlight. And along the way, he learned something incredible about himself and about life. If you have ever felt afraid to try, or if you have ever wanted to give up, this story is for you. Because Leo's story teaches us that success is not just for the lucky or the talented. It is for those who keep trying, even when it is hard. So, stay with me until the end. Listen to Leo's journey, the struggles, the falls, the small victories, and the moments that changed everything. This story will not only help you learn English but also remind you why your dreams matter. Are you ready? Let's begin. The Dreamer in the Shadows. Leo lived in a town where time moved slowly. The streets were quiet. The buildings were old. The people followed the same routines every day. It was the kind of place where nothing big ever happened, and no one expected it to. For most people, that was enough. But not for Leo. Leo was 19. He worked at a small grocery store during the day, stacking shelves and mopping the floor. Customers barely noticed him. They paid, took their bags, and left. No one asked about his dreams. No one even knew he had them. But Leo did have a dream, a big one. He wanted to be a musician, not just someone who played music. He wanted to feel it, live it, share it. He wanted to stand on stage, close his eyes, and sing a song that moved people. He wanted his voice to matter. At night, when the world was quiet and his family was asleep, Leo sat on the floor of his small bedroom. He held his old guitar, scratched, worn, but still able to sing. With headphones on, he listened to famous artists, Ed Sheeran, Adele, John Legend. He studied their voices, their emotions, their stories. Then he played his own songs, softly, secretly. He wrote lyrics in a notebook using simple words, words about pain, about hope, about wanting more. He wasn't sure if they were good, but they were honest. No one believed in him. His father told him to focus on real work. His mother just smiled and said, "Music is fine, but don't expect too much." His friends laughed when he mentioned singing. "You? A singer? Come on, man," they'd say, shaking their heads. So Leo stopped talking about music. He kept it locked inside, but no matter how many times he tried to forget it, the dream stayed. It was quiet, but strong, like a small candle that refused to go out. Some nights, Leo would record himself singing with his phone. The sound wasn't clear. Sometimes his voice cracked. Sometimes the background noise was louder than the music. But still, he recorded. Because when he played those songs back, even with all the mistakes, he could feel something real, something that reminded him he was alive. He didn't want to be famous for the money. He didn't want millions of fans. He just wanted to be heard, to know that his voice meant something to someone, that his story mattered. But in a town like his, where people didn't dream big, Leo felt invisible. He looked out of his window at night and wondered, is there someone out there like me? Someone who feels the same way? Someone who needs music the way I do? The fear inside him was heavy. What if he wasn't good enough? What if he shared his music and people laughed? What if the only thing he ever became was forgotten? Still, the candle of hope burned, soft, quiet. But there, one night, Leo sat with his guitar, heart pounding. He had just finished recording a song. It wasn't perfect. His voice trembled. The melody wasn't strong, but the words were true. They came from a place inside him that even he didn't fully understand. He stared at the screen. His finger hovered over the upload button. His hands shook. He whispered to himself, just one person. Maybe. Just one. And he pressed post. It was almost 3 a.m. The world outside was silent. But inside, something had changed. Leo didn't know what would happen next. He didn't expect much. But for the first time, he had taken a step out of the shadows. The dream wasn't safe anymore. It was out in the open now. And even though it scared him, it also felt right. He closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and waited. Sometimes, the smallest act of courage begins the biggest story. The first fall. At first, it was exciting. After Leo uploaded his song, he kept checking the site every hour. He refreshed the page again and again, looking for a sign, a like, a comment, a share, anything. For a while, there was nothing, just silence. But Leo didn't give up. He told himself, maybe it takes time. Maybe people are just busy. Maybe someone will listen tomorrow. The next morning, he opened his laptop before breakfast. His heart beat faster. There were new notifications. He clicked, and there it was, a comment. But it wasn't what he hoped for. Are you serious? This is trash. He stared at the screen. His smile faded. He scrolled down, hoping the next one would be better. You can't sing. Stop embarrassing yourself. Then another. This hurt my ears. Please delete this. Each word felt like a stone thrown at his heart. His fingers froze. His face burned. His chest felt heavy. He sat there, staring at the screen. His dreams, the ones he kept so close, so private, were now being laughed at in public. That night, he didn't sleep. He lay in bed with his eyes open, replaying the words in his head. You can't sing. Give up. Delete this. For a moment, he wished he had never posted it. He wished he had kept his music to himself. At least then, he could still believe it mattered. But now the world had spoken. Over the next few days, more comments came. Most were negative. A few were just cruel. No one said anything kind. No one defended him. And the worst part, no one liked the song. Not one like. Leo felt small, useless, ashamed. He stopped checking the page. He stopped listening to music. He avoided the guitar in the corner of his room. Just looking at it made his chest hurt. He didn't tell anyone what happened. How could he? They'd just say, "We told you so." At work, he stayed quiet. He moved slower. Even his manager noticed and asked, "Everything okay?" Leo nodded, but inside, he felt broken. One night, 2 weeks later, he opened his laptop again. His song was still there, still online, still open for the world to laugh at. He moved the cursor to the delete button. His hands trembled. This isn't who I am, he thought, but maybe this is what the world thinks of me. He clicked delete. The page went blank, and with it, a piece of him disappeared. After that, Leo didn't play music, not even in secret. His room was silent now. The notebook where he wrote his lyrics stayed closed. His guitar gathered dust. He told himself it was over. Maybe they're right, he thought. Maybe this dream was never meant for me. Weeks passed. The days felt long, the nights even longer. Leo felt like he was just existing, going through the motions, no color, no sound, just gray. But sometimes, when no one was watching, he'd open the music app and listen to the song he once uploaded. He had kept a copy on his phone. It wasn't perfect. His voice cracked. The sound quality was poor. But it was his. It was honest. Still, he kept it hidden, like a secret too painful to remember. Then, one quiet evening, as the sun was setting and the sky turned gold, Leo opened his laptop to check his emails. Most were boring. Ads, promotions, nothing interesting. But then he saw something different. A message. The subject line read, "Your song." His hands froze. He clicked. And there it was, a message from a stranger. "Hi, Leo. I don't know you, but I found your song a few weeks ago. I listen to it every night. I just wanted to say, it made me feel less alone. Please don't stop." Leo read it again, then again. The words didn't hurt. They healed. He sat back in his chair, eyes full of quiet wonder. One person, just one. But it meant everything. And for the first time in weeks, he looked at his guitar. A stranger's voice. Leo stared at the screen. His heart was beating fast. "Hi, Leo. I don't know you, but I found your song a few weeks ago. I listen to it every night. I just wanted to say, it made me feel less alone. Please don't stop." He read the message again, then again. Each word felt like sunlight after a long winter. He whispered the name at the bottom of the message, Mina. She lived on the other side of the country. They had never met. She didn't owe him anything. But still. She reached out, not to judge, not to mock, but to thank him. For the first time since the wave of online hate, Leo felt like his voice had meaning. Not for the crowd, not for likes or attention, but for one person, for someone who was listening, not to judge, but to feel. He sat in silence, the glow of the screen lighting his tired face. Then slowly his eyes turned toward the guitar leaning against the wall. It had been untouched for weeks. Dust covered the strings. He stood up, reached for it, and without thinking, he began to strum. The sound wasn't perfect. His fingers were stiff. His voice shook. But something was different this time. He wasn't singing to impress anyone. He was singing for Mina. That night, he wrote a new song. It came from a deeper place. It wasn't about fame. It wasn't about proving anyone wrong. It was about being honest, about sharing the part of him that still hoped, still cared, still believed in the power of music. 2 days later, he uploaded it. No big launch, no announcement. Just a quiet post with the title, "Maybe you feel this too." He didn't expect much, but this time the response felt different. There were still no thousands of likes, no viral magic, but slowly, gently, words began to appear. "This song made me cry. Thank you. I've never heard of you, but I needed this today. Your voice feels real." Leo read each comment with care. He didn't rush. He didn't scroll past. Every message mattered. He replied to them, one by one, and a strange feeling began to grow. Not fame, not success, but connection. It felt like he had found a small group of people in a big, loud world. People who didn't care about perfect vocals or big production. They cared about feeling something true. He kept writing, not every day, but enough to start a rhythm. He began sharing songs every week, short, simple, honest songs. Sometimes he recorded with his phone. Sometimes he used a free app to clean the sound. But always, he kept the message real. Each song was like a letter, and people started writing back. A girl in India said she listened to his music during study breaks. A young man in Brazil said Leo's lyrics helped him understand English better. A teenager in Poland shared that the songs helped her through loneliness. None of these people knew Leo's full story, but they felt the emotion, they felt the effort, and that was enough. Mina kept messaging him too. They didn't talk every day, but whenever she sent a note, it lifted him. I played your song for my brother. He liked it too. Are you going to post again this week? Please don't stop. You're helping more people than you think. It was strange, Leo thought. The loudest voices had once told him to quit. But now the quietest voices were helping him rise. His audience was still small, but to him it felt big. Because it was real. Leo wasn't just uploading songs anymore. He was building something, a habit, a rhythm, a reason to keep going. He started planning his week around his music. Work during the day, practice in the evening, record late at night. And each time he hit upload, he no longer felt fear. He felt purpose. The doubt hadn't disappeared completely. It still whispered sometimes, but now he had other voices too. Voices that said, "Thank you." Voices that said, "Keep going." And slowly the boy who once deleted his dream was learning to believe again. A seed in the rain. Mornings still began the same way for Leo. He woke up early, pulled on his worn hoodie, and walked to the grocery store down the street. The job wasn't exciting. Stacking shelves, checking expiry dates, cleaning up spills, but it paid his rent. It kept the lights on. And for now, that was enough. But after work, when the uniform came off and the world outside quieted down, Leo's real day began. He sat by the window with his guitar, a notebook, and his phone. Headphones in, heart open. He wasn't just writing songs anymore. He was learning how to make them better. He started watching YouTube videos of his favorite artists. He studied how they held their breath before big notes, how they moved their hands when the lyrics got emotional. He paused and rewound again and again, trying to feel what they felt. He didn't just listen to their music. He studied their journey. Many of them had started just like him. No money, no support, just a voice, a dream, and a lot of lonely nights. Leo began reading online articles about vocal training. Words like resonance, vibrato, chest voice were new to him. At first it was confusing, but he stayed patient, one step at a time, one term a day. Slowly, something unexpected began to happen. His English started to improve, not from textbooks or grammar drills, but from lyrics, from interviews, from music tutorials. He repeated phrases out loud, mimicking singers, copying their pronunciation. He wrote down lines from songs, then rewrote them in his own words to understand the meaning. He whispered the words in front of a mirror. He watched his lips, practiced the sounds. He spoke to himself, not just in melody, but in meaning. Music was teaching him more than rhythm. It was teaching him language, emotion, focus, confidence. Some nights were harder than others. After long shifts at work, his body felt heavy. His back ached. His fingers hurt from carrying boxes. And still, he practiced. Even just for 10 minutes, even just one line of a song. It didn't always feel magical. There were no big rewards, no viral posts, no record deals, just small, quiet progress. But inside, something was changing. His voice got stronger. His writing got clearer. His English sounded smoother. The song started to feel more alive. He still doubted himself sometimes. The memory of harsh comments never fully disappeared. But the kindness he received, the messages, the encouragement, the thank yous, kept him grounded. He reminded himself, fame can wait. For now, I'm building something real. Leo also started posting short videos explaining the meaning of his lyrics. English learners from around the world left comments like, "Thanks for helping me understand this song. I love how you say the words slowly. It helps a lot. Your music makes learning fun." He never expected this. But it made sense. He was learning. They were learning. Together. Like a seed growing in the rain, Leo didn't need perfect conditions. He didn't need praise or spotlight. He just needed to keep going. And so, day by day, he did. Then, one evening, as he was replying to a few comments on his latest post, an email popped up. The subject line read, "Invitation to Online Talent Show." At first, he thought it was a scam. But as he read it carefully, he realized it was real. A small online music channel had found one of his videos. They were hosting a virtual talent show for new artists. It wasn't a competition, just a space to share music with a live audience. They wanted Leo to perform. His first reaction was fear. Live, on camera, with real people watching. He looked at the screen, then at his guitar. His hands began to sweat. He closed the laptop, stood up, and paced the room. He had never sung in front of a live audience before. What if his voice cracked? What if the internet failed? What if no one liked him? But deep down, another question rose up. What if this is the moment I've been waiting for? Leo sat back down. He didn't reply yet, but he stared at the screen for a long time, nervous, excited, unsure, and quietly. Ready. The stage of fear. Leo said yes. He replied to the email, heart racing, hands shaking. He didn't know why he agreed. Maybe it was the quiet voice inside that whispered, "Try." Maybe it was Mina's words that echoed again and again, "Don't stop." But the moment he clicked send, doubt flooded in. What had he done? He had never performed live, never sung in front of real people. His music had always lived behind screens, safe, private, quiet. But now strangers would watch him in real time, hear his voice, see his face. He had 5 days to prepare. Each night after work, Leo practiced in his small room. He stood in front of a mirror and played the song he had chosen. A song he wrote just for this moment. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't perfect. But it was honest. It was his. Still, the nerves didn't go away. His hand shook when he held the guitar. His throat tightened when he tried to sing the high notes. His voice cracked more than once. At one point, he stopped, dropped the guitar gently on the bed, and sat down. His heart was loud. What if I fail? He looked at his phone. There was a message from Mina. "Hey, Leo, I heard you're performing live. I'll be watching. I'm proud of you." He smiled. "Just breathe," he told himself. The morning of the performance, he woke early. He didn't eat much. His stomach felt like it was full of butterflies. He put on a simple shirt, the cleanest one he had. He tuned his old guitar, wiped the dust from its edges, and sat in front of his laptop. The show was small, just a few dozen viewers. But to Leo, it felt like thousands. The host introduced him with a short line. "This next performer is Leo, a rising voice from a small town." His screen lit up. He saw his face reflected back at him, pale, nervous, but ready. He took a breath. Then he played. The first chord came slow but steady. His voice followed, soft, uncertain, but honest. He sang about feeling invisible, about holding on, about finding light in dark places. His hands trembled. His voice broke once or twice. But he didn't stop. He remembered Mina. He remembered the stranger who said, "You helped me feel less alone." He remembered all the nights he wanted to give up and all the quiet reasons he didn't. And so he sang. Not for fame, not for perfection, but for connection. When the last note faded, Leo looked at the screen. Silence. No claps. No comments. Just a quiet pause. Then a message popped up. "Beautiful." Then another. "I cried." Then another. "You're real. Thank you." And suddenly, the chat exploded. "I felt every word. This is the kind of music the world needs." "Don't stop, Leo." His chest filled with something new. Not pride, exactly. Not joy, but peace. For the first time, he felt seen, truly seen. The applause came in the form of messages, hearts, and virtual claps. But it was enough, more than enough. When the host came back on screen, even he looked moved. "That was something special, Leo. Thank you for sharing your gift." After the show ended, Leo closed his laptop and sat in the quiet. No music, no crowd, no sound, just the steady beat of his own heart. He looked around his room. Same walls, same chair, same guitar. But something was different now. Something had shifted inside him. He had faced the fear. He had walked through it. And on the other side, he found respect. Not from strangers, but from himself. Later that night, Leo opened his phone. Notifications were pouring in. A small influencer had shared a clip from the show writing, "This is what music is supposed to feel like." His follower count started climbing. More messages came. More people listened. Opportunity had quietly knocked. And Leo, for the first time in a long time, was ready to open the door. The climb begins. The morning after the show, Leo's phone didn't stop buzzing. At first, he thought something was wrong. But as he opened his notifications, he saw numbers he wasn't used to. Likes, shares, follows, comments in languages from different parts of the world. He blinked in disbelief. One clip from his performance had gone semi-viral, just 1 minute long. But in that 1 minute, something had clicked for people. The caption read, "Raw, real. This is what music should feel like." It had been shared by a small but popular music influencer, someone with a loyal audience, an audience that now wanted to know who Leo was. His follower count jumped from a few hundred to a few thousand, then more. Leo sat on the edge of his bed, phone in hand, trying to take it all in. The same platform where people once told him, "You can't sing," was now filled with voices saying, "Your song gave me hope. I felt that," and "Please don't stop." A few days later, he got a message from a podcast host. "We'd love to have you on to talk about your journey and how music helped you learn English. Interested?" Leo read the message twice. Then again, him? On a podcast? His first reaction was fear. What if his English wasn't good enough? What if he froze mid-sentence? But the next day, he said yes. He spent the week preparing. He watched old podcast episodes to study the format. He practiced answers in front of the mirror. He wrote down key phrases and translated unfamiliar words. His notebooks filled with vocabulary, express emotion, find your voice, inspire others. The day of the interview, Leo sat in his room, a headphone in one ear, heart pounding. The host greeted him warmly, then asked, "So, Leo, tell us, how did it all begin?" He told them everything. The first song, the silence, the rejection, Mina's message, the performance. He told them how music wasn't just a passion, it was a path, a way to learn English, a way to find courage, a way to connect. Listeners sent messages afterward. "You made me believe I can start too. I'm learning English through your lyrics. I want to make music like you." Something new was growing. Leo realized his songs weren't just being heard. They were helping. So he began to share more than just music. He started recording short behind-the-scenes videos. He would explain the meaning behind his lyrics, slowly, clearly, in simple English. "This line means, I used to feel lost, but music helped me find a way." People responded with enthusiasm. English learners left comments, "Thank you for making music I can understand." "You're helping me improve my listening." Music fans left others. "The lyrics hit me deep. Now I love your songs even more." Leo's audience began to change. It wasn't just fans. It was learners, strugglers, dreamers, people who saw their own story in his. He wasn't famous, not yet. But people were watching. And more importantly, people were listening. He kept working his part-time job at the grocery store, still stocked shelves, still swept floors, still counted coins for rent. But now, when he went home at night, there was purpose waiting for him. A comment to reply to, a new song to upload, a message from someone in Brazil or Japan or Turkey saying, "You helped me today." One evening, as Leo edited a new video, another message appeared. This one was different, an invitation. "Hi, Leo. We're hosting a live music event in the city next month. Small venue, intimate crowd. We'd love to feature you as one of our performers. Real stage, real audience. Let us know." Leo stared at the screen. His hands didn't shake like before. He just smiled, leaned back in his chair, and whispered to himself, "This is really happening." The test of belief. Leo stepped off the bus with his guitar in one hand and a worn black suit in the other. The city lights flickered like nervous thoughts, too bright, too fast. The crowd, the noise, the rush of cars, it all felt bigger than him. But this was the night, the real stage, the real audience. He checked the time, 5:42 p.m. He was early. The venue was small but classy, a brick-walled room with velvet chairs and gold-framed lights that dimmed just enough to make everything feel serious. The kind of place where real artists performed, real professionals, not someone who had taught himself chords from YouTube videos. In the dressing room, Leo slipped on his second-hand suit. The sleeves were a bit long. The shoes were slightly too tight. He looked at himself in the mirror and tried to smile, but all he could see was a kid pretending to be something he wasn't. Voices echoed down the hall. One singer warmed up their voice with high, perfect notes. Another laughed with confidence, talking about their last tour. Leo stayed quiet. As he stepped out, one of the performers glanced at him and whispered, "He looks like he just walked off the street." Laughter followed. Leo felt the shame rise inside him like it always used to. That old, heavy voice in his head came back. "You don't belong here." He walked backstage, his heart pounding. The lights went down. The first act began. Leo peeked through the curtain. The audience was full, well-dressed, polite, professional. He looked for a familiar face, and then he saw her. Front row, bright eyes, soft smile. Mina. She had come. Leo's breath caught in his chest. That one message she had sent months ago. "Your song helped me when I felt alone. Please don't stop," had been the reason he kept going. Now, here she was. Real. He closed his eyes and whispered under his breath, "Just one song. Sing it like it matters." Because it did. The host called his name. Leo stepped onto the stage, his guitar in hand. The lights felt hot on his face. For a moment, all the sound in the room disappeared. He strummed the first chord, and then he sang. The song was called "From Shadows to Light." It told the story of loneliness, of rejection, of a voice too afraid to be heard, but also of hope, of someone saying, "Don't stop," of a tiny spark that became a fire. His voice trembled at first, then steadied. The melody rose. The words carried weight, not perfect, not polished, but honest. When he finished, he opened his eyes. Silence. Then someone stood, then another, and another. The entire room rose to their feet. Applause, real, loud, lasting. Leo blinked back tears. On stage, he had been alone. But now, in that moment, he felt surrounded. He looked at Mina. She was clapping through tears. He had done it. Backstage, performers who had once laughed now nodded with respect. One said, "That was real. You felt it, and we felt it too." As Leo packed up his guitar, a man approached, mid-40s, confident, professional, a music agent. "You've got something," he said. "Raw but honest. I want to help you record an EP. No pressure, but if you're ready, I can open a few doors." Leo stood still, unsure what to say. He had dreamed of this, but it had always felt far away, somewhere at the edge of someday. Now it wasn't a dream. It was a choice. He looked down at his old guitar, then at the bright stage behind him, then at the door ahead. He nodded slowly. "Let's talk." Fame didn't scare him anymore, because now he believed. Fame's first light. After the night of his big performance, Leo's life began to change in ways he had only dreamed about. The music agent kept his word. Soon, Leo signed with a small but passionate music label. It wasn't the biggest company in the world, but it was a start. A real chance to be heard beyond the city lights. He spent weeks in a tiny studio, recording songs he had written during quiet nights at home. Each note, each word carefully shaped. He worked hard, learning more about sound, mixing, and how to make his voice shine through the speakers. Finally, the day came. His first official EP was released. Just 4 songs. But for Leo, it felt like a whole new world opening up. At first, only a few people listened. Then the numbers grew slowly. Listeners from his country, then neighboring countries. And then, something unexpected happened. His songs began to go viral. Within weeks, millions were streaming his music. especially English learners from different parts of the world. They sent messages saying how his lyrics helped them practice English, how his clear voice made learning easier. Some said his songs made them feel less alone, just like Mina's message had done for him. Leo's heart swelled with a mix of disbelief and joy. From the lonely boy playing music in secret to this moment, he had become someone people wanted to hear, someone who could inspire. More opportunities came. Schools invited him to speak about how music helped him learn English. YouTube channels asked him to share his story, to explain his lyrics slowly for learners. Leo saw his music not just as art, but as a bridge, connecting his own struggles with others' dreams. Yet fame didn't change everything. Sometimes, late at night, Leo would sit quietly and remember the hard days, the nights he felt invisible, the silence after he uploaded his first song, the words that cut deep. He never forgot that place of darkness. It kept him humble. It reminded him why he sang. One afternoon, while reading comments on his latest video, Leo smiled at a message from a young fan. The message was simple. "Your song gave me hope when I wanted to give up. Thank you." Those words filled him with warmth. Fame was not about the lights or the numbers. It was about connection, about being seen, about helping others believe. But Leo also knew his journey was just beginning. The world was bigger than his small town. His dreams were bigger than this moment of success. He decided it was time to return to the place where it all started. The small, forgotten town, the quiet nights with his old guitar, the shadows where he first dared to dream. He wanted to give back, to show others that even from the darkest places, a single seed could grow into a bright light. Leo packed his bags with a new sense of purpose. Fame's first light was shining, and now he was ready to share it. Full circle. When Leo returned to his small hometown, he felt a quiet excitement mixed with a deep calm. The streets were the same, familiar and worn, but now he saw them through different eyes. This was where his journey had begun, in the shadows and silence of a place that often forgot its own dreams. One morning, Leo visited the school he had once attended as a boy. The classrooms were filled with curious faces, children with bright eyes and quiet hopes, much like his own had been. Standing in front of them, guitar in hand, he felt a rush of memories, the laughter of friends who didn't believe, the quiet nights spent writing songs no one heard. He began to sing softly, his voice clear and gentle. The room fell silent. The students listened, some with smiles, others with tears shining in their eyes. After the last note, Leo looked at them and said, "Don't let fear stop your dream. Your voice matters. Your story matters." Some kids wiped their eyes, others nodded slowly, their faces glowing with new hope. In that moment, Leo felt something stronger than fame or success. He felt connection, a bridge built between his past and their future. But Leo wanted to do more. He remembered how lonely it had felt to learn and struggle with English and music at the same time. So, with Mina's help, the same Mina who first believed in him, he created a free online course called Learn English Through Song. They combined music lessons with English practice, using Leo's songs to teach pronunciation, vocabulary, and confidence. Mina managed the messages and helped Leo respond to learners from all over the world. Together, they built a small community, a safe place where people could grow like he had, step by step, note by note. Leo's music was no longer just entertainment. It was a tool for learning, a source of courage, a path to new beginnings. The boy who once felt invisible, who had deleted his first song in shame, had become a teacher of success. His journey, full of fear and failure, had blossomed into hope and mentorship. Standing before those children, and now reaching thousands online, Leo knew that failure was not the end. It was the first step on a long road. He had come full circle, from the shadows of doubt to the light of possibility, and his story was proof that with faith, hard work, and a single kind voice, dreams could truly come alive. As Leo looked out at the students' hopeful faces and thought of the learners watching from afar, he realized this was only the beginning. The journey still went on. The Song of You. This story is not just mine. It belongs to everyone who has ever felt small, unseen, or unsure. It belongs to you. Maybe you have a dream, a secret hope tucked away in your heart. Maybe you have felt the sting of doubt, the weight of silence when you try to speak or create. I know that feeling well, but I want you to hear this. Your story is not finished. It is still being written, and every day you hold the pen. For me, learning English was like learning a new song. Each word, each phrase was a note, sometimes hard to find, sometimes out of tune, but slowly the music grew. It opened doors I never thought possible. It connected me to people I would never have met. It gave my voice a place in the world. When I started, I was just a boy in a small town, playing songs in the shadows, afraid to be seen. I struggled with the language. I doubted my voice. I wanted to give up many times, but I kept trying, because deep down, I believed that practice would lead to progress, and progress would lead to change. English became more than a language for me. It became a bridge to dreams, to friendship, to hope. It helped me sing my truth, even when the world told me to be quiet. And that is why I want you to keep singing your own song, your own story, in your own way. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have everything figured out. What matters is that you keep moving forward. Every small step counts. Every word you learn is a victory. Every time you speak, read, or write, you add to your song. There will be hard days, days when you feel lost, or like no one is listening. But remember, even in silence, your song is alive. It's waiting for the right moment to be heard, just like mine was. You might not have a big audience today, but that doesn't mean you won't tomorrow. The world needs your voice, your experience, your courage. When you share your story, through English, music, or anything you love, you inspire others. You create a chain of hope that grows stronger with every connection. So, keep going. Keep learning. Keep dreaming. The road will not always be easy, but it will be worth it. Because your story, your song, is unique. It is powerful. It matters. And when you feel afraid or unsure, remember that you are never truly alone. There are people out there, like Mina, like those few kind listeners who believed in me, waiting to hear your voice, to support you, to walk beside you. This is the message I want to leave you with. Your story is still being written. You have the power to shape it. So don't stop singing. Don't stop believing. Keep shining your light, even if it feels small. Because every light, no matter how faint, can brighten the darkness. You are the dreamer. You are the singer. And the song of you is waiting to be heard. Thank you for listening to Leo's story, his journey from failure to fame. I hope it inspired you as much as it inspired me. Remember, like Leo, every one of us faces challenges and moments of doubt. But it is in those moments that we find our true strength. No matter where you start, or how many times you fall, you can rise again. Your dreams are worth fighting for. Learning English, just like Leo learning music, takes time, patience, and practice. Each new word you learn, each sentence you speak, is a step closer to your own success. You might feel invisible now, or afraid to share your voice. But just like Leo, your voice matters. Your story matters. Keep practicing, keep believing, and don't stop, even when it feels hard. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to Read and Learn English. We share stories like this every week to help you improve your English and stay motivated on your learning journey. Also, leave a comment below. Tell us about your dreams and the challenges you face. I'd love to hear your story. And if you want to practice more, check out our playlist with lessons and listening practice based on inspiring real-life stories. Remember, learning English is more than just grammar and vocabulary. It's about connecting with the world and sharing who you are. So keep going, keep dreaming, keep learning. Your future is waiting. Thank you for being here today. Until next time, keep shining your light and singing your song.